builds to their fullest potential can be consuming and challenging. So I'm going to give you 10 mistakes to avoid by creating your 2K27 MyPlayer. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. First tip is the new badge system in 2K27. It's pretty darn complex, so I'm going to need to take a few minutes so you can actually learn how it works. There's a ton of new things considering badge tokens, bonus badge tokens, bonus badge slots, the fact that the build starts with 20 badges, but then you can earn more badge slots to apply to any category. The fact is, each badge costs its own term of badge tokens. And then at top of all that, the synergy section is the bottom of the Fuge badge and reaction badge. And the fact that the Fuge badges not only is your +1 and +2s, but it is also to refund of the badge tokens that you get from the other slots. Then along with that, with the Fuge badges and a whole lot of going on, it's probably going to take 15 minutes to explain. And I did drop an entire build down breakdown, and the link is in the comments and at the end of the video. So entirely recommended to you to check out the full explanation of the new badge system. But I do want to mention that the most important thing is when it comes to making builds this year, making sure that you understand it's very complex, confusing new badge system that you're going to need to understand no matter what to not butcher your builds. There is a whole lot of moving pieces, but if you to watch the build breakdown, I will have a very good understanding on how the connection works together. Let's move on to the next tip with a pure green window. It's going to be the most important thing ever in 2K to have the best jump shot, and 2K Labs got you covered. They got a bunch of free tips on their website, free tools on their website, and you also going to go under the premium section, custom jump shot database. This is an absolute cheat code every single year. The database contains statistic tested jump shot for your specific build. Not only just the biggest screen window, the faster releases, breaks down to the millisecond. Everything you need to have the edge over your competition. I personally use this database every year for every build. There's no worse feeling in than making a build, putting VC on it, and realizing that you messed up and you don't have your favorite dribble style or your favorite jump shot, and you're down and you could have had 2 more better ratings. Do not operate under the assumption that all animations are required the same exact thing as last year. Now, your favorite shot, like KD's go-to shot, is now a 94 rating, just like SGA's escape is now a 91 ball handling rating. You gotta double check, triple check these animations if you want to make sure your build have the ability to unlock it in 2K27. Pay attention to the badge requirements in the builder, not only because it's super important aspect of making a build and being able to operate the assumption that everything is the same as last year's builder. You're making the wrong mistakes. Certain badge ratings have changed in terms of certain badge levels. On top of that, certain badges have been explained to go to taller heights. So make sure you're not operating your information is not head based on last year's builder. Make sure you're checking your badge requirements that they're going to be able to unlock at your height, also meeting the ratings requirement to those badges. Because of course, those badges are going to make your build perform much better, making your experience playing the game so much more fun. Also keep in mind, certain badges have been split into 2, like Rebound Chaser is now split into 2 offense and defensive rebounds badges. Pay attention to these new badges so that you can make the best build possible. The next tip, I'm be preaching for years, high risk builds against low risk builds. If you're somebody that makes a lot of builds, make sure you do low risk builds first. Let everyone else make the mistakes so you can learn from those mistakes. Then you can make a high risk build. Now I haven't heard me talk about this before. You're definitely thinking, what is the difference between a high risk and a low risk? Well, a low risk is a build that's difficult to mess up to the point where you don't feel like you're wasting money. One example, low risk, like a start of the year, a center build. You're going to put up their attributes as you want. You're going to correspond badges and go with it. You're not super worried about messing it up, getting the wrong animations, because majority of big man animations are all the same. And majority of the people can't shoot at the beginning of the year. So therefore, getting free rebounds, free rep, free progression? Come on, guys. You can't miss out on this. Don't mess up your builds. Another example of a low-risk build is a lockdown defender. Could you mess it up? Is it not the most optimized version of the lockdown in the game? Of course. But the most important part, you're going to be getting defense attributes. You're going to get some shooting, some bit of dunking. You're also going to go on the defense end and get defensive badges, the defense attributes. Could it be a little messed up? You're not going to feel like you wasted the money on it. Now, on the flip side, a high-risk build could lead up to like a guard, right? You got to make sure you meet any requirements and every requirements to have the best ability, the best of your ability. You need the best jump shot base to be unlocked, the best dribble moves, the best dunk passes, etc., etc. It's a lot easier to mess up, especially early in the year before people find out what's really effective. Then you might miss out on the best three-point shooter or the best dribble moves or the moves that dare make you a god. All because you messed up on your ball handling and your speed with ball rating. You could get the right dribble style and you could feel like you didn't waste your money on your build, not performing the way you want it to be and having fun at the game. There's a lot more ways to mess it up at this point. There's more high-risk builds. Let everyone learn from everybody's mistakes, making high-risk builds. Then make your own high-risk build and save by saving your money. Next tip I have is to pay attention to the weight and wingspan affects your attributes. Although visually, these attributes screen in the builder look kind of similar to last year, but the way the weight and wingspan affect the attributes is very, very different. I know you're probably saying, see, money. I've been playing 2K for years. Obviously, I know what's the difference for the weight of the wingspan. I'm talking about specific things. For example, a 6'8" last year, maximum wingspan would get 96 perimeter. Minimum wingspan would get 95 perimeter. Wingspans barely had an impact on your perimeter rating last year. Not so much this year. In 2K27, the maximum wingspan for a 6'8" is a 95 perimeter. A minimum wingspan for a 6'8" is an 87 perimeter. It is a drastic, huge difference. Also, wingspan is a big effect to your dunking now. It always has, but it feels certain heights get more drastic this year than last year. Another difference notice with weight. From 6'9" and shorter, the lower you get more defense. I can't explain the amount of times that people ask, see money, but I put up this, but my player's doing this. And you actually pay attention because some of the names are misleading. They also separate certain things like shooting badges. Now, your three-pointer gets a set shot badge. And then now it is also divided from mid-range badge. A moving three is divided from a mid-range moving mid three. There's a difference on top of that. Make sure you're paying attention. For example, we're like, see money. I'm trying to get quick on the ball. I got to put my agility up. When agility only affects ball movement, not burst when you have the ball in your hands. Pay attention. Not only the actual meanings of the badges, but also the actual meaning of the attributes that you're upgrading. The next tip is to make your build for you, not to copy other people. Yes, you can copy YouTubers and do how they do, but at the end of the day, you want to make it fun for you. So make it your play style, but make sure you gather the information, take bad ideas, other people's builds, build videos that ultimately tweak. It makes the build, makes you want to enjoy the game. One thing that you get your attributes all the way finished up, you have to be a 99 overall to be able to see your cap breaker preview. I do think it would have been nice to be able to have an option to see if you're checking the cap breakers, then you have to come back, recreate your guy, and do it again. But guys, I hope you liked the video. Once again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, put the noties on. God bless y'all. I love y'all.